In this ARC Raiders video, I want to discuss my thoughts on the Server Slam, just some general things that I took away from when I was playing the Server Slam and after I've had some time to reflect on it. And this leads up to launch because some of these systems are going to be in place. They don't have a lot of time to tweak things, and I can't imagine they're going to be able to fix everything that I'm going to discuss. But basically what I did is I sat and reflected today and came up with 7 things that are both incredible and also equally concerning in some of these things. Not every single one of them, but some of them have a yin and yang to them. So I wanted to just express my thoughts because hopefully they could fix some of these things prior to launch. But again, I think the game is in an incredible place, very similar to the playtest. I'm excited as hell for it. It's my most anticipated game for the year, and I'm going to dump hundreds and hundreds of hours into it, and I absolutely can't wait. But nevertheless, I want to discuss these 7 things right now for you. We have a lot to talk about. Let's do it. So first and foremost, the game felt just as polished as it did back in the playtest. Honestly, I was very surprised because there was very little hiccups. I did have 3 crashes and about 20 hours of gameplay, so I played about 50-ish raids. I can't remember, I don't have an exact number, but I recorded the most of them. And I only had 3 crashes during that. 2 of them I died because of ARC, because I reconnected and was dead. 1 of them I came back alive, but I died shortly after. But nevertheless, 3 crashes in that time frame is not terrible. But again, outside of that, the game ran extremely well. I played around with running DLSS and frame generation because I have an NVIDIA 4080 graphics card, and I was wanting to try it out to see how it felt and see if there was any weird screen things, because I know with frame gen and DLSS there can be some weird things, pop-ins and just weird stuff going on sometimes. Personally, I didn't notice anything. Usually they're pretty apparent whenever I'm running around in some games with DLSS on especially, but they felt really good. I ran ray tracing, I ran everything on high, and also I ran everything at 4K, and personally, I thought the game looked incredibly smooth. There was nothing really to complain about. I didn't really play around with frame generation too much, to be honest. I don't like to run it unless I have to, but one thing I noticed is that frame gen was giving me about 20-ish extra frames, which did feel really good because I was sitting at about 70 or 80 to 100-ish frames at 4K. So overall, again, the performance of the game was just outstanding. I really did enjoy it a lot. In terms of PvP and fighting enemies, the only time I ever had desync was when I was playing with people from across the globe, because I do have some friends that are overseas. I'm in the US for frame of reference, and I played with some friends in Europe. And again, I did have some desync issues and some things like that, but that's pretty normal for any shooter I play. But thankfully, this is not like one of those Twitch shooters like Battlefield or Call of Duty where it will affect us too much. But there were moments where there was definitely heavy desync. But outside of that, though, again, the game ran completely smooth. I didn't have too many issues, no stuttering, no weird stuff going on, no hitches, no freezes or anything like that. For this particular Server Slam, I was able to invest more time into leveling and questing, unlike the playtest, and I was able to really get a good feel for how the game is actually going to engage quest. And we obviously didn't get the bulk of the quest. We're going to get many other things added into this, but for the most part, it felt fine. I really did enjoy the quests. They were pretty straightforward. The ones that we did get, they would just go here, do this thing, repair this, retrieve these or find these and whatnot. And I was thankful to see that some of them are fetch quests that you can actually work on outside of the actual raids. You can just buy them from the vendor. For example, one of them required wires. If you had siege, you can just trade for wires from the vendor and complete the task. I like it when games do that because it makes it a little bit easier, and it rewards people who have a lot of foresight for when they're actually getting to quest, and it rewards hoarders as well. For most of you guys that play extraction shooters, you know what I'm talking about. Your stashes are always full of junk, and it's definitely one of those things. Something else I liked about this game is they did a great job with the progression overall. Even if I didn't survive a raid, if I was completing a task, or maybe if I got a few things done, I was still progressing at a pretty good rate. I was able to get to level 15 in around 14 or 15 hours, which was me kind of slow poking it. I had some friends that ended up getting it in like 10 hours or so because they're just going hard at PvP and stuff like that. So the game rewards you for getting more kills, looting more, and there's always ways to earn XP, and you don't get diluted like other extraction shooters I've played, which is nice. So it feels like you're always having a sense of progression. A couple of things that I'm hoping for with the actual game are that I hope that the quests are a little bit more extraction focused, meaning that there's a little bit more risk with it. So basically, I need to extract with said item. I need to actually extract the raid to complete this task, even though I did do the thing. Or maybe even there's more PvP oriented tasks as well, because I just don't want to have to go like do things in the PvE realm of the game, like go fix this, go kill these ARC or something like that. I would like some things that are targeted at actually going after players or things like that. So hopefully they add some more variety there, and I imagine they have plenty of things in the rotation, but that's my big hope for when the game actually releases. And then for the skill tree, one thing that I really hope that they add, and I'm praying that they add this, is that there's a way to reset your skills, because in the Server Slam, we were unable to do that, and in the playtest, we were unable to do that from what I remember. And I really want that feature in this game, because there's going to be some build crafting that I want to do, sometimes I want to be more sneaky, so I'm going to maybe want to respec for a sneakier side of the skill tree. Maybe I want to go more into some other things and whatnot. So again, I want some flexibility with my skills, and if we're hard locked after we get it and we just have to wait till we reset our character from the expeditions, that's going to be pretty disappointing. But I imagine and I'm praying that they have a reset button for our skill tree. As a whole though, I am excited for the questing in the game. It's one of my favorite things to do in extraction shooters is quest, find things, hoard items, PvP, just mix it up a little bit and do all sorts of different things. I just love all the elements of it, and it seems like that ARC Raiders did a fantastic job at making all those things work well and give you a really good sense of progression. If you have some hiccups, don't extract all those different things, which is very nice. So for number 3, I want to talk about the ARC next, because the ARC have changed quite a bit since the initial playtest. In the original playtest, they felt so much easier. It felt like you could take them out with light weapons very easily, and they didn't feel as menacing as they did in this particular version of the game during the Sever Slam. And I'm not sure how much they're actually going to be able to fix that or change that. And a lot of it may be too because we were using more limited weapons. So I'm trying to encapsulate 2 different realms of thought here, because I had many different people in my chat and people I was playing with just get annoyed as hell at the ARC. There's a couple things though that are definitely going to be a problem if they don't fix them. Number 1, we have to have a way to be able to get away from the ARC, because right now in the way they work, if you use smoke or if you hide behind trees or bushes or things like that, or evade them for a bit, they're still going to find you very easily. It's much more difficult to get away from the ARC during the Sever Slam, and I imagine they're not going to be able to fix that much before the launch of the game, so it's going to be something that we're going to have to get used to. And as well as it would be nice if we didn't have to always rely on heavy weapons. Now I understand if you're playing with a group, light weapons and medium weapons, if you're targeting them together, do work well, but there's moments where you're gonna need to take it out by yourself, and typically heavier weapons are going to be better, which again is a mechanic of the game. I'm not complaining about that, but seriously, there were times where I was shooting the flying drones and I was shooting it with a Pharaoh, and that's one of the strongest weapons, at least early on. And yes, it wasn't super leveled up, but I believe the version I was using was a level 3 or 4 one, and I was not able to kill this thing. I shot in the engines, I shot in the body, and in general, it felt like it should have died a lot faster than what it was. So the ARC itself, yes, is more challenging, which I do personally like. I like more challenging games like this, but they feel a little bit overtuned, especially in the tracking department. They can track me all over the map so much easier. Like when the Rocketeer locks onto you, it's game over basically, unless you take him out. So again, a lot of that skill issue, things we're going to have to get used to. We're going to have to get better equipment, get better weapons. We're going to have to target them better as a squad. There's some skill issue things with that, but there are some things that are not skill issue based that they need to fix, such as a targeting, better ways of evasion, and then maybe making them just a little less tanky at times, especially some of the flying ones, because they could be quite a bit more tanky than I would like. So the next thing I'm really conflicted on, and I'm not sure exactly how I feel on it, is the fast load-ins, and in tandem with that, the fact that you come into raids in progress. I absolutely love how fast this game gets you in and out of raids. Your free loadout, you can just keep going, boom, boom, boom. You're going with custom loadouts, boom, boom, boom. You're in really fast compared to other extraction shooters like you Escape from Tarkov players out there. You know what I'm talking about. You're in raid queues for like 8 to 10 minutes. It is so miserable. If you're just coming home from a day of work, you gotta wait an 8-minute queue. Nothing more annoying than that. However, I do get annoyed when I come into a raid about 3 to 12 minutes, somewhere in that range, after it's already started. So instead of me coming in at 30 minutes, which each raid is 30 minutes, I come in at 18 minutes, and I'm like, what the hell? There's already 8 or 12 minutes of movement from players running around. They've already looted some areas, and I got to start from behind, and I don't even know where everybody is. And at first I thought it was only with the free loadouts, but no, it's literally with custom kits. I have come in to a raid 10 minutes in plenty of times with a custom kit, and I'm like, really? The map's already moved? Maybe I wanted to fight the queen. People are probably already fighting the queen because they've had more time to move across the map. So again, I don't want to lose the fast loading times, but I would also not cry if I had to wait like 2 to 3 minutes just to ensure that, okay, I'm coming in with a custom kit, really awesome gear. I don't want to come in at 10 minutes into the raid and not have as much map knowledge, because one of the things that I really like to do is I come into the raid, see where I spawn, and I can kind of have an idea where the players are spawning at. And then that way I can navigate the map as I see fit. However, coming in late causes those issues. The other thing too is that with the late timers, and this is something that happened to a couple of friends of mine, it didn't happen to me personally, is you spawn in, and let's say you linger in an area for like a minute or so, somebody can spawn behind you. If the system detects that you're not in the spawn location anymore and somebody trying to get into the raid, they can spawn right behind you, and you will get shot from the back. Like, what the hell? There was nobody there. I checked all my angles and they just shot me in the back. They just spawned in. That's not fair at all either. So I don't know what the best solution is for that, but I don't want to lose the fast loadout system, but what I would have as a compromise is maybe, okay, the people that are going with free kits, because that's going to be a very popular way to play this game, maybe they have the biggest variance of coming into raids in progress a lot more often. However, if you're coming in with a custom kit, I would like the system to be able to tell you're coming in with a custom kit. Maybe your whole team is coming in with a custom kit if you're coming in with a group. And it would give you a little bit of a longer queue time in order to ensure you're coming in at the beginning of the raid. Anyway, big tirade there, but I was conflicted on it because I love it and I hate it at the same time. One thing that was a big, huge, massive W from this particular server slam in the playtest back in May was the fact that player interaction was so freaking good. I have no complaints about it. Being able to do proximity chat with random players in the lobby from solo play to group play was an absolute treat. There was so many funny moments between other creators and myself, and I have so many memories of just interacting with people. Like, I just got outplayed by somebody and I'm just talking to them, then they revive me and we have a adventure. I would love to team up if you can revive me. I won't shoot you, I promise. Okay. What a weird situation. All right, so let's go. Let's get out of here. That person was really nice to us. I just end up getting into a firefight with some other teams, and we're in a circle just talking to each other while we're dying. Oh, see you guys all, Esperanza. Ah!
No, we don't.
What does he sound like? Why does he sound like that?
What is that sound over there, by the way?
I have no idea. It's been annoying me the hell all game, dude. I've been over here fighting for like an hour, and I mean, again, every player that played this weekend had some sort of small interaction or just tons of interactions with other players, especially in the solo queues. You had so many situations where you would team up as solos to like take on large arcs, where you would just take on other players, or you would just try to extract together. And I absolutely love that about this game. It's going to be one of the best things about this game, going to create the best moments. I am not friendly. Create the best videos, and just in general, it's going to be an incredible memory whenever we're playing this game. And it reminds me a lot of DayZ, because DayZ has a lot of situations like that. You just meet somebody and you go on this big adventure. This game offers that to a smaller degree because the raids are much smaller, but overall, it's just a cool concept going into a raid knowing you have no idea what player interactions you're going to have in every encounter. So now talking about the PvP a little bit and the limited gear we were able to play with. Overall, I feel like the PvP was mostly balanced and fair. I never felt like I was completely outplayed because of gear. Mostly if I was outplayed or something like that, it was because of a skill issue or mainly map knowledge and things like that. And then when I ended up getting good moments, it was because of map knowledge and taking different angles and stuff like that. Again, it never felt like anything was totally unfair because we did have limited gear, limited skill points and things like that. However, I am curious, and this is just a curiosity, it's not a complaint. It's just going to be something that's going to be very interesting in the months that we have after launch, is how is this game going to feel when people have more meta gear, when people have more meta shields, when people are more have more of an idea of what they want to do with the skill tree and things of that nature. How is the PvP going to feel? Is it going to be as fun and clunky as it is now? Or are people going to be running around and much more athletic? Or is it going to be much more sweaty and things like that? Because again, part of the charm of this game is the clunkiness, the fact that you're not always running the best things. You're always like running a free loadout and going from 0 to hero is an extremely fun way to play the game. And then also kind of running a mixed bag of good and not so great equipment is also a very big thing about the game because it offers some weaknesses in your build and stuff like that. But over time, of course, the PvP section of the game is going to swell. People are going to be more geared than ever, and it's going to be either slow down or have much more athletic play. And I'm just curious, like, again, not a complaint. I'm just very curious to see where the game's going to land in the PvP section and how actually sweaty it's going to be with the third person peeking, as well as everybody running much more tankier gear, much more stronger weapons, because there's some freaking strong weapons, such as purples and yellows, that are really strong when you level them up. And again, I'm just very curious to see how it's going to be. And this last one, in my opinion, is going to be the most important because it definitely is going to have an impact on the early game if Embark does not put some sort of stop to this or fix this. And that is the exploits. There are many exploits that I'm not going to go over in this video, some that are going to be more game breaking than others, but the one that I feel like is definitely going to be the biggest problem in the long run unless Embark fix it is going to be the exploits into the locked rooms. Now, I partook in this. I'm not going to lie to you. I took free kits. got into these locked rooms and got meta gear just like all you guys. So it's in the game. We're not going to not take advantage of it as players. So I'm not poo-pooing the idea of you doing it. I'm not going to sit here and be the authority on whether you do it or not. If it's in the game, take advantage. But as a studio in Embark and as a player that wants to play the game as objectively as possible in the right way, these need to be fixed. We shouldn't be able to get into these locked rooms without keys, more or less be able to get this meta gear from these rooms. These locked rooms have the highest end weapons, from rare and epic weapons to even like legendary parts and the best blueprints in the game and just anything. These things have tons of freaking things that you can get your hands on, and it's going to do nothing but cause problems because people are going to be running around with peak meta gear day 2 of the wipe because all they've done is just go on free kits, run and just farm these rooms for an entire day, just getting whatever they can. And it's not that hard to get out because some of them are right next to extracts. You can just go in there quickly, go out, and then have your little loot run and then get out with tons of money and be able to have tons of money, the best weapons in the game, the best shield in the game, and things like that. So again, I don't want to ruin the fun here. I'm not trying to be a party pooper, but as an objective player who wants to enjoy the game as it's supposed to be enjoyed, and the fact that I want to be able to unlock a room and have the mystery of knowing that, like, oh my God, I brought this key in that is super valuable. I'm going to get in this room, get this gear out, and hopefully I extract. I love that stuff. I want the sense of pressure of knowing that, like, I'm using my key that I found, that I can go into this room and get this stuff. Again, I pretty much think you guys get what I'm talking about, but in my opinion, the various exploits need to be fixed. There's a couple others, again, that I'm not going to list in this video, but the biggest one for sure is the fact that people can get into locked rooms. That has to be fixed because it's going to be a big problem as we get into the early moments of the game. All right, so that's 7 thoughts that I had about the Server Slam and just leading up to launch, some lingering thoughts about what the game's going to be like in terms of the different systems and things like that. Let me know what you guys think about this video down in the comments below. More importantly, make sure you let me know down in the comments below what your concerns or what your thought processes are on what I talked about in the video, as well as your own things that you have to bring up as well. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content similar to this. But anyways, I'll catch you in the next video.